Hi and welcome. I'm Emily Beachy, the Creative Director for Heartfelt Creations. Today I'm going to share some techniques with the Sweet Serenity Collection, and what we'll be doing is we'll be showing you how to stamp this image, how to cut it out with the intricate die. There's some really clever techniques with that, and then we'll show you some quick coloring techniques that you can incorporate in your stamping, your 3D projects, and your scrapbooking. So stamp this image, and we're going to line this die up with the image to cut it out. Now if you just lay this on top, you're not going to know where that's going to line up correctly. So we need to make a template. To make the template with an intricate die, you'll pull in a piece of paper. I'm just using a pattern paper, but you can use any paper you like. And make sure that you put 2 pieces of wax paper in between your die and your paper. This makes that when your paper is cut, that the intricate pieces will remove very nicely from your die. So we'll move that into position, then put a piece of tape down. Make sure that this is taped right in here. Make sure some tape extends out of the outer edge. We'll run that through, tape that in there, and then we're ready to run this through the machine. If you're running this through a machine that's smaller than the grand caliber, you will need to make sure that you run it through multiple times, especially with the Cuttlebug. One of the tricks I like to do too is if it's not completely cut out, when you remove it from the machine, is rotate it 90 degrees. Now with this die on the Cuttlebug, you're not going to be able to do that. So just move it in a position that you can and just run it through a couple more times. So we'll bring this out. And let's see if this is all cut out. Okay, so we're really not after this piece, so we're just going to remove that. We're going to take the extra pieces out of our plate, and I'm going to just pop some of these extra pieces out from my die. Now, if you have a solid wood surface, you can just tap that against your table and those fly out. But you want to have this outside edge remain in there, and that's held with this tape. That makes your template. So we're going to bring this stamped image back into place. We're going to lift this up. Now you have this template so that you can see perfectly to line this up. You'll only concentrate on the outside edge when lining this up. There's 2 leaves on the top left corner that you can see. Okay, those are lined up. And then once it's lined up, just press your tape down. Let me just move this over just a little bit. On the top here. And then you can just flop your die down. And that is all ready to cut out. Now I'm going to move this around on my plate a little bit. When I'm cutting out an intricate die, I like to have the die as close to the edge as possible. In the center of your cutting plates, there's not as much pressure, so it doesn't cut quite as well in there. So we're going to run this through, cut that out. So once again, if you're using a small machine, don't freak out if it's not cut out the first time around, because this is more intricate. So we'll bring this back out, and I'm guessing this might have to be rotated. Yep, see right in here, it's not cut. So we'll rotate that, run that right through that machine again. Now let's make sure that's all the way through, and I'll just back it up. And this is number 2. And that just popped right out. You see that? And then at this point you can just remove those extra pieces from the die, and then we're ready to color it. So we're going to color this image like we did on this frame, and I'm using my sponge dauber and some brown ink. Now if you just color lightly, you'll get more of a lighter color around the edge. If you press hard, it's darker. So this is a quick coloring technique, and I'll do this all the way around this frame. Now when you're doing this at home, just experiment a little bit. The harder you press, the more color you achieve. If you want more of a light effect, just press lightly. Now we're ready to do the green, and I'm not really concerned about going outside the line. I just want to add some different colors in here. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to get used to the fact that yes, I can color outside the lines. Just make sure you have a piece of scrap paper on your background. Or if you're trying to make your work surface be colorful, you can just color directly on your work surface. So we'll just go back and add all the color on the leaves. Now, this is a fast drying ink. This is the Colorbox Chalk Olive Pastel and the dark brown. Once you're finished putting the color on, you can go back and add glitter to the swirls of the leaves like we did on this card. So as you can see, in like 30 seconds this frame is colored. And at this point, you'd go back, add some glitter with the glue and the tip. And then these are the vintage Florette roses. Now this scene in the background was just stamped with black, embossed in black, and colored with the Copic markers. You can still see the scene peeping through here. And then we distressed around the edges. This is a great 5x7 project, and I just love all the versatility and the effect of having the scene peeping through the background. I stamped the leafy frame on vellum with white embossing powder, and then I went over the image and added some microfine glitter. The roses are the vintage Florette roses, stamped on vellum, embossed with white embossing powder. To make these, watch my video on the vintage Florette real life roses, and you'll learn how to make these exquisite roses. The background was layered on some of the Sweet Serenity background paper. We stamped the frame on a dark blue Sweet Serenity paper and embossed it, and then we stamped this image from the Sweet Serenity Collection on a background paper that had some flowers around the edges that were colored, and then we colored this with the chalk inks with the sponge daubers that I showed on the frame, and you can kind of see just the great blending and coloring around the edges. Add the vintage Florette flowers on top, distressed around the edges, and sponged it with a dark brown ink, and that completed this card. So you can absolutely use this as a frame, but you can cut out pieces of this vine and use it like we did on this layout. Isn't that just gorgeous? These are the Posy patch flowers. These are the first flowers we released with the coordinating die. The cool thing about the Sweet Serenity paper collection is it also coordinates with the Posy patch collection. So if you currently have this flower, these papers coordinate beautifully with the Posy patch collection as well. The die that we used up here to do this doily is the decorative butterfly corner die from the Sunny Day collection. So that works beautifully behind pictures with that doily. We distressed the edges of this paper and sponged it, and then we used some of the little 2x3 squares from the paper pack, which we'll show you in just a moment, and just layered those in the background for some interesting dimension. This layout was created with the papers from the Sweet Serenity Collection. It's called the Posy Patch Paper Collection. I just love this background paper, and then for this flower it looks like a little Tempur-Pedic pillow, doesn't it? But we cut into the side, both sides, and then we just added some foam dots on the back of the paper, and we raised that up, and then we added 8 of these, not 8 of them, but a bunch of these little flowers. Now these flowers are from the scalloped decorative Posy die, and there's 8 of them in that set, so you can cut out 8 at a time. And this border, it comes in a little oval, or a little oval like that you can also make a border out of it. This is a little 2x3 square from the paper, and then this is the corner from the decorative butterfly corner die. This is the Posy Patch Paper Collection, and it is a part of the Sweet Serenity Collection. These are the papers that are inside. These papers coordinate with the vintage Florette's Posy Patch and the images in the Sweet Serenity. So these are the hydrangeas that we were just looking at on this layout. They're just perfect, beautiful. The backgrounds of all of our papers are more neutral, so if you don't like the front, you can absolutely use the back for anything. These are some beautiful lilacs with butterflies. Vintage Florette border. I love how that's all the way around the paper. These papers can easily be cut down to the different sizes. This can be used for journaling blocks, stamping sentiments. Here you have some sentiments. Love that scene. And then we wrap it up with some more hydrangeas and lilacs, and then this is the background on that one. These are the stamps and dies in the Sweet Serenity Collection. This is the decorative leafy frame that I've been featuring. And this is the vintage Florette frame that coordinates with that decorative leafy frame die. These are images that can be used in the back of the frame or in the front of the circle. So we've got some bunnies, butterflies. Here are some scenery stamps that go beautifully behind that frame. And then we wrap it up with the Tranquil Evening, which has the little swans, and the ocean with a little boat tied up. So peaceful. To purchase the products from the Sweet Serenity Collection, you can visit our website at heartfeltcreations.us, and you can shop by collection. This is the Sweet Serenity Collection, or you can shop by stamps, dies, or papers. If you want more inspiration, which we all do, you can visit our gallery, and you can click on Card Gallery, Scrapbook Gallery, or Altered Art. The options are limitless. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon.